voice17104.com. This is Zanetta Wingfield, and you're listening to the voice17104.com. The voice17104.com.
Hello, friends and neighbors, colleagues, and frenemies. How you doing? Always glad you're here. Yes. Topic of the day here at Rick's Place here at the Voice 17104. We're here with good Pastor Chris Thomas.
Welcome back, sir.
And the topic of today, as I aforementioned, is the world in turmoil. Not just nationally, but internationally. And I want you to think about this. We're here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We have two wars going on in the world. One just started. Okay? The war in Ukraine, including with Russia. And you have Israel and Hamas. Now, would you call that a war? Because what would you call that? Israel fighting with what has been deemed a terrorist group. Because they're not fighting all of Palestine. Then you could say it's a war with Israel and Palestine. It's a war with Israel and Hamas. Because all of the Palestinian people are participating in this war. How would you define it? But it's a war nevertheless. Thousands of people are dying. This blew up a hospital. And nobody knows who did it. Now, I had a problem with that. And why would you target a hospital in the beginning? There's certain things in war, unless you're a maniac, that you simply do not touch. Hospitals aren't battlefields. Hospitals aren't military installations. Hospitals are places where people go to heal, to be treated so they can heal. It's the main purpose. You don't let them participate in any military combat. But nevertheless, they blew the hospital up with women and children and men and doctors and nurses, and they just killed them. No regard at all for human life. But now the Palestinians and the Hamas, they're saying Israel did it. Israel is saying Hamas did it. Well, not so much Hamas, they were saying the Egyptian Islamic Jihad who's a supporter of Hamas, the Brotherhood, these names did it. Well, we know one thing, someone did it. Who? I find it difficult to understand that they don't know who exactly did it. This world in turmoil. That satellites all over the skies, deep in space, and they're spy satellites. It tells you that back in the 60s and the 70s. Well, the spy satellite didn't go anywhere. And this is not America, not our country. Russians, Chinese. Space is a big place. Okay. Now, these satellites are so powerful that if Putin is walking his dog at 9 o'clock in the morning, we know about it. The Chinese know that. If he sets off, if Kim Il Sung was constantly testing rockets, and they ask him, "Did you test a rocket yesterday?" And he say, "No." They know he's lying because they saw it. Spy in the sky. You want to tell me, with all them spies in the sky, that they don't know which one of these groups, be it Hamas or the Israelis, set off this rocket? They don't know. I bet you they do. And I'm always skeptical of people getting into the technical aspects of it, and how the rocket was set off. And the reason I am, and God rest his soul, is because of General Colin Powell. When he sat in front of the United Nations, all nations represented, and talking about Saddam Hussein, and his chemicals of mass destruction. The troops got over there, inspectors got over there, and didn't find nothing. But they had a whole presentation how the chemicals was being moved around in different trucks in different sites. Makes you a little skeptical when you hear presentation as to what happened, when in fact it didn't happen. Masters of illusion, magicians. Well, we had people die here. A bomb went off, struck by the building was struck by a missile. People died. So that's not an illusion. And you might ask, why do you pay attention to all this stuff, Roy? That's way over there. No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't ever believe that. The war is being fought there. You feel it here. It's called the rippling effect. See, the world is a massive place, you say to yourself, oh, really not that big when you add in modern technology. When you look at the global market, if you're not affected by the war today, tomorrow you will be. Those are regions over there where American citizens travel all the time. In fact, they got American citizens right now in the Middle East. They got American citizens somewhere stuck all over the world, but are affected right now between this conflict between Israel and Hamas. Americans have died during this conflict because they were in Israel, visiting friends and families and innocent people. And now the question is being raised, how did this occur? Now, I would have that question myself. And so much for defense, Donald. Okay. Better fence on the border, better fence on our southern border, better fence. They had a fence there in Israel, and Hamas went through it, killed a bunch of people. How'd that happen? Please, if you have an answer, you can sure let me know. Send a text, call me up. You can tell me, because I'm still wondering how that happened. This is a sophisticated government. This country is surrounded by enemies. You don't think they have the best surveillance in the world? So how did this appear to be, well, they're not a ragtag group because they never got through that fence. No, this was well planned. There was the security. You already know you in a volatile situation. Highly volatile. When you have enemies, volatile. When you have enemies on all sides of you. But they're able to sneak around in the dead of night, go through Europe, and you have no night vision capabilities. You could not see all these people. It wasn't one or two people, it was a bunch of people. They ran, they had the damage defense package. That couldn't have been an easy task, but they knew what they had to do because they bought the equipment to do it. But they went through the fence by a police station, no less, who I know had surveillance. Where was everybody at? Think, people. And they wonder why the people in Israel is upset. I'll be upset too. Family members then died. We've been attacked. Supposed to have the best security on earth. Knowing our situation. And nobody saw this. Nobody. I would have a hard time understanding that. And that's why the Israelis citizens are angry. They've lost people. They're the Palestinians. Something motivated that. They have to find peace in that region. Because this is not the first time this has occurred. Conflict between Israel and Palestine. This is going all the way back to Yasser Arafat and Yasser been dead. Got to find peace in that region, folks. For the rest of the world. Middle East is a big place. That seems to shrink down in conflict. But it involves everyone, even America. President Biden just came back from over there. He was visiting the Prime Minister, BB. BB. I never really was a big supporter of BB. BB is an extremist. You know what I mean? He's just like this guy they trying to put in the speaker's seat in Washington, Jimmy Boy Jordan, a Trumper, election denier. It's all tied, folks. It's not off subject. Think a little bit. It's all tied. This guy don't even want to support the Iranians, that little faction in the Congress, the Trumper and the Trumpettes, you know, the mega wing. How this occurred? I know the moderate Republicans sit there and look at them. So how did they get here? Same question I'm asking. How did they get there? That means we have a maniac faction within our country of voters. It don't matter how stupid they are. Because if you listen to them in Congress, if you listen to what the things that they come up with, is totally ridiculous. It is nothing to help you or I with our quality of life or any other American. Just look at it. So I know the moderate Republicans just look at it, but well, how did they get here? And now this guy, this maniac, this election denied, this insurrectionist wants to be Speaker of the House. And you think that's by accident? Well, that's by design. Speaker of the House wouldn't nothing get done. This government would grind to a halt because they be coming up with all this ridiculous stuff that they know ain't nobody. He has already lost 2 votes that denied him the speakership. Okay. Instead of him battling out, because he's never going to get to 217. But he could keep running. Why? That's by design to tie up the government. Someone needs to make a motion and get it second to give the speaker, I guess he's a pro tem, the authority for whatever length of time. They should do it to the end of the year. And in January, let's try this again. That gets rid of Jim Jordan, empowers the current acting speaker, and get some things done. But you're to tie this thing up because that's an agenda, folks. That's an agenda. So nothing gets done. That's Donald Trump. And that's his boy. Why? That's all part of flaunting democracy. And that's what they intend to do. Rip up this democracy and throw it in the trash. And have nothing to replace it with. But they don't care about that. Because they're stupid. Stupid people don't plan. They just do. That's the megas. They don't even want to fund Ukraine. You think they want to fund Israel? I ain't heard one of them come out and support it. Not one mega. Every the other day, Jim Jordan mentioned something passing right by. Oh yeah, well that was wrong what they did in Israel. Move right by. Why? Because them bigots don't care nothing about Israel. They would have to convince me that they did. And still I'm not gonna believe them because they don't. Because they're racist. Every time they open their mouth, you can hear that. Don't care anything about that. They want total and complete power. And they're not going to get that. No. They're not getting that. That would be a terrible mistake putting Jim Jordan in the speaker's chair. That's a road to disaster. How are you going to put a traitor in the speaker's chair to the Constitution of the United States? That's exactly what he is. The election denier. Is boasting and braggadocious ways, and he's inflammatory. He helped excite them people in January 6, 2021. An attempt to overthrow the Constitution of the United States, which means you're overthrowing the government. I'm not so sure he shouldn't be in jail. But now we're going to give him, they keep saying, oh, he's the second seat from the president. No, he's not. They jump right over Sister Kamala Harris, don't they? In a minute. Oh, who's making the speaker? He's the second seat from. No, he's not. It's the president, the vice president, and the Speaker of the House in succession. Forget about Sister Kamala Harris. I didn't. We didn't. He's third in succession. And that's, to me, that's still too close. Not him. Keep in mind, folks, he keeps running after he has lost twice to be disrupted. Think. I didn't think. That's a strategy. You know, if you keep this thing tied up, what do we got coming up? Before the country runs out of money, threat of running out of money again. these wars. One is asking, our allies are asking Ukraine for some more support. Israel is asking for support. President Biden has already pledged it to both of them. They need Congress to act. They hold the purse strings. They're supposed to be allies of America. So why would this buffoon keep running? Get somebody in there that they can live with. Both Republicans and there are some moderate Republicans that the Democrats can live with because they can work with them. Like, oh no, good old Jimmy boy, he keeps running, knowing he don't have the votes. I know the legislative process. I'm a part of the legislative process. Well, we're in receivership right now, but you don't bring nothing to the floor unless you got votes to pass it. You're wasting everybody's time. Then you might think it's a great idea. Others don't. That's where compromise, lobbying comes in. We had to meet with people and your colleagues and explain to them what you're trying to do. And then maybe they'll come around and maybe they won't. Might be too costly, might be. But that's what happens in politics. Politics is full of compromise. But I'll tell you what they're not going to compromise on, their freedom. America knows no other system of government than this one. They're not going to trade that in. So crazy Jim Jordan and Trumper Donnie Boy can be a boy general. The boy who would be king. We don't have a king in this country. We have a president elected by the people. A democracy. Congress elected by the people. Senate. Well, Senate is part of the Congress. And the legislative body. Senatorial body. They need a speaker. Like I said at the beginning of this program, the world in turmoil. And nothing that's in turmoil at the top don't affect guys, men and women at the bottom. So we will feel the effects of not just one war, two wars, right here. That's how it works. We're part of this world, aren't we? So anything happening anywhere else eventually affects us. It always has. One way or another, in one form or another. So, unless we find a way to find peace soon, I just wanted to give you something to think about, like I always do. Thanks for being here today. I appreciate being with you, and enjoy the rest of your day. right, sir.